That evening, after Richard slammed the door to his office and sat silently at his computer, I could feel the tension in the house. This was no longer the man who had shared everything with me. He had become a stranger. One morning, when Richard went out, I decided to check his email again. I didn't want to invade his privacy, but my gut told me something was wrong. While I was lost in my thoughts, my phone rang. On the other end was a strange woman. "Hello, this is Jessica. Are you Mr. Richard's wife?" I felt a chill run down my spine. "Yes, how do you know me?" Jessica replied, her voice serious. "I think you need to know this. This is not a story about a strong man or a perfect family. This is a story about mistakes, about trying to fix things, and about love, the thing that can save even the darkest moments." Before I delve into the heart of this story, I want to take a moment to invite you to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support truly means the world to us and fuels our passion for sharing these intimate stories. If you connect with our content, please leave a comment. Every interaction helps us foster a stronger community, and for that, I am incredibly grateful. Stay until the end to fully experience the characters' emotions and the surprising twist. Have you ever believed in a dream to the point of risking everything? A dream that seemed perfect but hid unimaginable dangers? Today, I will tell you the story of a family that fell into tragedy when that dream turned into a nightmare. A story in which Elon Musk's name not only carries hope, but also loss. Richard and I have been together for nearly 35 years. We were once a perfect couple in the eyes of everyone around us. Richard is a successful businessman who once owned a small company specializing in supplying industrial machinery. Despite his busy work, he always made time for his family. To me, Richard is not only a husband, but also an indispensable companion in life. When he reached retirement age, Richard decided to sell the company to spend time enjoying life. He planted trees, read books, and joined clubs in the neighborhood. The slow and peaceful life made both of us feel satisfied. But then, that peace didn't last long. One day, Richard happened to watch a video about Elon Musk. It was an inspirational speech where Musk talked about relentlessly pursuing his passion and working 80 hours a week to achieve the impossible. From then on, Richard began to change. At first, I thought Richard's interest in Elon Musk was similar to how he used to enjoy reading books about inventors. But this time, that interest quickly turned into an obsession. At first, Richard spent hours every day watching speeches, reading books, and researching everything about Elon Musk. He began repeating Musk's famous lines. "If I could work as hard as Musk, I would create something great before it was too late." Richard began to change his lifestyle, waking up earlier, jotting down ideas in a notebook, and constantly talking about going back to business. At first, I was happy that he had found something new to do to fuel his passion. But then things went too far when Richard stopped spending time with his family. Richard started attending technology webinars, spending hours in front of his computer. Family dinners became quiet as he focused on the latest articles about Musk and SpaceX. I tried to be understanding and supportive. I thought maybe Richard was bored with retirement. But when I saw him start withdrawing money from his savings account without telling me, I knew something was wrong. One day, I asked Richard about the withdrawal. He just smiled and said, "You are investing in a new opportunity. This is a big project, and it will bring huge profits." I didn't want to argue, but deep down, I felt worried. The vagueness of his answer made me start to doubt. A few weeks later, I happened to see an email on Richard's computer. The email was titled, "Exclusive Investment Opportunity. Elon Musk supports small investors." The email came from a company called Star Future Tech and promised huge returns through investing in a green energy technology project, which they claimed was directly advised by Elon Musk. As soon as I read the email, I felt something was wrong. It all sounded too good to be true, but Richard didn't think so. When I asked him about the email, Richard nodded enthusiastically. That's right. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Did you know? Elon Musk is behind this project. I can't pass it up. I got it. Although I tried to convince him that this sounded suspicious. Richard brushed it off. You're always scared. That's why you have to make your own decisions. Elon Musk has been doubted by the world, but he has proven his ability. You can do it too. I don't know what to do. Richard is getting more and more distant, and I feel like I'm helplessly watching him go down a dangerous path. But can I stop him before things go too far? Since he started investing in the project that Richard believed was being advised by Elon Musk, he has been increasingly immersed in his own world. Days spent sitting at his computer from morning to night have become the norm. Strange phone calls and emails that he has kept secret have also become more frequent. Richard is no longer the husband I once knew. No matter how busy he was, he always made time for his family. But now everything seems to revolve around this project that he calls a life-changing opportunity. Richard has become unapproachable, irritable, and often avoids my questions. Whenever I ask about the amount of money he has withdrawn from our joint savings account, Richard only answers vaguely. Don't worry, you will see the results soon. I did the right thing, but the amount of money he withdrew has been increasing, and I can't ignore it. One morning, when Richard went out, I decided to check his email again. I didn't want to invade his privacy, but my gut told me something was wrong. I found a series of emails from Star Future Tech. The content of the emails read like a script, with attractive language, promising huge profits and inviting additional investments to maximize the opportunity. Act now to not miss out on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Elon Musk has created the future. Now you can join the journey. What caught my attention were the strange requests in the emails. Invest more to be upgraded to VIP investor status. Guarantee that all investments are guaranteed by the company. Do not disclose this information to outsiders, because this opportunity is reserved for the selected people only. It all sounded perfect, but the very perfection made me more suspicious. I started searching for information about Star Future Tech online, but all my efforts led to dead ends. The company did not appear on any reputable websites. All I could find was a sketchy website with vague pictures and text, no clear contact information, or a specific address. I continued to research and discovered that this could be part of a series of scams that had taken place before. Many articles warned about companies impersonating Elon Musk or using his name to attract attention and scam retail investors. One article in particular caught my attention. Warning: scam companies using Elon Musk's name to swindle millions from unsuspecting investors. My heart sank as I read the article. Not only was Richard putting his trust in the wrong place, he was risking everything we had built over our lives. While I was lost in my thoughts, my phone rang. On the other end was a strange woman. Hello, this is Jessica. I used to work with Star Future Tech. Are you Mr. Richard's wife? I felt a chill run down my spine. Yes, how do you know me? Jessica replied, her voice serious. I think you need to know this. Star Future Tech is a scam company. They have taken hundreds of thousands of dollars from their victims, and I'm afraid your husband might be one of them. I used to work for them, but quit after I found out the truth. My heart pounded when I heard those words. I tried to stay calm and asked, Are you sure? How do I know this isn't a misunderstanding? Jessica sighed. I can't tell you everything over the phone, but if you check carefully, you'll see. This company doesn't exist. They're just using famous names like Elon Musk to create trust and lure investors. If your husband has invested a large amount, you need to act immediately before it's too late. When Richard returned home, I decided to confront him. I was ready with the evidence in hand, but my heart was still filled with anxiety. Richard, I began, my voice serious. I know about Star Future Tech. It's a scam. He looked at me, surprised but not angry. What are you talking about? You don't understand. This is a real opportunity. Elon Musk can't be involved in something fake. I showed him the article and the information I had found, but instead of believing me, Richard got angry. "You just want to ruin everything. I'm trying to do something meaningful, and you're always doubting me. If you can't support me, then don't interfere." His words were like a knife stabbing straight into my heart. I felt helpless, not only because he didn't believe me, but also because he was distancing himself from everything that mattered most in his life. Richard has chosen to believe in a dream that I know will surely turn into a nightmare. But can I save him before everything falls apart? And if I can't, what must I do to protect this family? That evening, after Richard slammed the door to his office and sat silently at his computer, I could feel the tension in the house. This was no longer the man who had shared everything with me. He had become a stranger, haunted by the dream of wealth and the utopian ideals he thought Elon Musk had brought. When Richard finally walked out of his office, I decided I couldn't keep quiet any longer. I stood facing him, feeling like I was talking to a wall. "Richard, you have to stop. I've done some research and everything shows that Star Future Tech is a scam." He raised his eyebrows, his eyes cold. "You're doing research behind my back again? Don't you trust me?" "It's not that I don't trust you," I replied, trying to stay calm. "I don't believe that company. Don't you think it's too good to be true? They're using Elon Musk's name to make you believe." But instead of listening, Richard shouted, "Elon Musk is a genius. Don't you think I'm smart enough to recognize a scam? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you don't support me, then don't stand in my way." I refused to give up. I took out my phone and opened the website Jessica had shown me, a forum where hundreds of people denounced Star Future Tech. Their stories were identical to Richard's. Initial investments were promised to double, but as time went on, they were asked to invest more to maximize profits. "Look, Richard," I said, pushing the screen toward him. "These people lost everything. You're making the same mistake." Richard looked at the screen, his face hard, but instead of accepting the truth, he suddenly turned away and said, "You don't understand. Elon Musk would never let this project fail. I will prove to you that I am right." A few days later, things started to fall apart. Richard received an email from Star Future Tech asking for another investment to guarantee the highest return. But when he tried to log into his account, the website was inaccessible. He called the support number, but only got an answering machine message. All the emails sent went unanswered. I stood there looking at Richard, who was shaking in front of his computer screen. He held the phone in his hand, trying to call again, but to no avail. "Richard," I said softly, placing my hand on his shoulder, "they lied to you. There is no Elon Musk behind this project." "I'm so sorry." Richard put the phone down, his eyes filled with despair. He said nothing, just bowed his head, his shoulders shaking as tears silently fell. After trying unsuccessfully to contact Star Future Tech, Richard finally had to face the fact that he had lost all of his family's savings. "I just wanted to do something meaningful," he said through tears. "I didn't want to live a useless life. I thought that if Elon Musk could do it, I could too." His words made me feel both angry and sympathetic. I swallowed my anger and said, "Richard, you don't need to be Elon Musk to be meaningful. You were the best husband and father this family could ever have. But you lost that because of an unrealistic dream." Realizing his mistake, Richard decided to seek help. He reported the incident to the authorities and joined a support group for people who have been victims of financial fraud. "You can't get your money back," Richard told me, "but you can help others avoid falling into the same trap you did." The truth has come out, but the cost is too great. Even though Richard tried to make amends, I knew that the trust between us had been severely damaged. Can we get through this? Or is this a rift that time will never heal? Richard, after realizing he had been tricked, became more silent than ever. He no longer spent time in front of the computer, but instead sat quietly in the living room, looking at the receipts that recorded the amount of money he had invested. I thought I could change the world, but in the end, I couldn't even keep this family together. He sighed, his voice heavy. I tried to soothe his regret, but in my heart, I was also unsure if we could survive this incident. A few weeks later, an unmarked letter appeared in our mailbox. Inside was only one line. "You think it's over. Think again." Richard opened the letter, his hands shaking. "It's probably just a joke." I tried to reassure him, but deep down, we both knew there was nothing random about this situation. Late one night, while the family was sleeping, Richard's phone rang. He picked it up, his voice sleepy. "Hello?" On the other end of the line was a familiar voice, the voice of one of the partners Richard had contacted when investing in Star Future Tech. "Mr. Richard, we know you tried to report us to the authorities, but I advise you to stop. Remember, we know you and your family." Richard turned pale. He sat up immediately, his eyes fixed on the night outside the window as if someone was watching. From that night on, Richard lived in a state of extreme stress. He was not only worried about the money he had lost, but also worried that his family might be in danger. One time, when Amy and I were on our way home, I noticed a black car following us all the way. I wasn't sure if it was just a coincidence or if someone was actually watching. I told Richard, and he became increasingly concerned. "They're watching us, I'm sure of it." While trying to investigate Star Future Tech further, Richard received an email from someone claiming to be another victim. This person said they had discovered that one of the ringleaders of the scam was living in an area near where we lived. "He's not just scammed us. I hear he's secretly running a new scam," the email read. Richard, with a mixture of anger and a sense of responsibility, decided to find this person. One afternoon, Richard drove to an address given in the email. I tried to stop him, but he was adamant. "You can't just sit back and let us be victims forever. This is your chance to stop him." At that address, Richard came face to face with a young, well-dressed man and immediately recognized the voice from the threatening phone call. "Mr. Richard," the man chuckled, "I don't think you're stupid enough to come here." Richard faced him, unfazed. "I'm here to get justice, not just for me, but for all the people you've defrauded." The man laughed loudly, but his eyes were cold. "Justice? What do you think you can do? You don't know who you're dealing with." In a daring moment, Richard secretly recorded the conversation on his phone. He tried to stay calm, not revealing his intentions. After leaving, he immediately forwarded the recording to the authorities. Despite the danger, Richard's actions created a major turning point. A few weeks later, the authorities arrested the group behind Star Future Tech. Based on Richard's recording and information from other victims, they discovered that this was an international fraud organization. The amount of money embezzled was up to tens of millions of dollars. Richard received many thanks, but he did not feel satisfied. "You have caused too much damage to this family. Even though those people were caught, you still cannot get back what you lost." A few days after the incident ended, Richard received a letter from one of the other victims. In the letter was a simple handwritten line. "Thanks to you, my family did not lose everything. Thank you for your courage to face them." Richard held the letter in his hand, silent for a long time. Finally, he turned to me and said, "Maybe you cannot change your mistakes, but at least you did something right." Although life returned to normal, Richard never forgot the valuable lesson from the incident. One morning, while cleaning the house, I found the wooden box where he had kept his investment project records, but when I opened it, I was surprised to find another letter from Richard inside. "I'm not perfect, and I've made many mistakes, but the one thing I've never made a mistake about is choosing to love you and this family. Thank you for not giving up on me." Tears fell down my cheeks. In the end, I realized that despite the hurt in this journey, we still had the most precious thing: love and forgiveness. This is not a story about a strong man or a perfect family. This is a story about mistakes, about trying to fix things, and about love, the thing that can save even the darkest moments. What about you? Are you willing to forgive when your loved one stumbles? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to listen to the next stories.